Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in for another IFS demo. This is another real session with a volunteer who has volunteered to do multiple sessions with me now. So you can either start by watching or listening to this one, or you can go back and watch the other ones. It doesn't matter too much. They'll both be good for your learning and just experiencing what it's like to really see IFS in action. So the point of these demos is just that. It's just for educational purposes for me to try to showcase the model, or at least my best understanding and use of the model. I'm not by any means a perfect practitioner of the model. And so the way that I do it is kind of my way of doing it, or my best interpretation of the model, the best decisions I can make in the session. Also, given that it's a demo and given time constraints, so keeping all those things in mind. The most important thing is that we go slow, we create safety, we make sure that we're checking for self energy. We always work with protectors first and foremost before moving toward exiles. And so a few sessions in now, we've kind of established a good bit of safety and worked with various parts of this volunteer. In this session, you'll see we work on some unblending. We kind of get to know a part that may be an exile, maybe a protector. I don't think it matters that much. I think sometimes that language is just for the practitioner's comfort. But we get to know this part that was holding a lot of pain. I'll also say that yeah, there's some kind of intense childhood themes in here, so a bit of a trigger warning depending on your history. We're really working on a self to part connection and part to self connection, so you'll see that. And then toward the end, I think to both of our surprise, we went through a bit of an organic unburdening that just kind of happened on its own, and the part really said on its own, hey, this is what I want, and I want to walk hand in hand with you, with self. And the volunteer's body really responded to that kind of spontaneous unburdening that happened. So when the conditions are right, parts want to unblend. They want to tell their story. They want to unburden. So more than anything, and more than like the technical know-how of the model, I would say really just make sure that if you're using the model, you're in as much self energy as possible, and that you're creating conditions where change can happen if parts want to change or grow or shift or unblend or whatever. And those conditions really are about compassion, curiosity, understanding, and really just about love in a sense. And so that's a word that I always keep coming back to when really understanding what this model is, right? We're kind of going back and being there for parts the way they needed someone to be at that time, right? And those missed opportunities for connection that we had, especially when we were young and when we were children and beyond. So I hope this demo is enjoyable to you. Always open to your feedback. You can email me, john@johnclarketherapy.com. And thank you to the participants that have done these so far. I really appreciate it. And again, I'm learning and growing with the model. So some of the ways in which I'm doing it now are a little bit different. And my intent is really to go slower than I want to go, to really check for self energy in myself and with the client as often as I can, and repetitively checking for it, and just trying to organically let the system do what it needs to do, trusting that the system is self-governing. And again, if we work with and honor protectors first and foremost, then that's how we keep the work safe. So the disclaimer is always, unless you've had formal training in IFS, training and supervision, then just be really careful if you're using the model. I recommend, if you are using it with other people, that you have formal training and supervision to keep the work really safe, because you can do damage with this model. It's so powerful. You can both create really big healing in people. You can also create damage in people. So just knowing that and really being as responsible as you can as a practitioner. So yeah, that's all for now. Thanks for tuning in, and hope you enjoy it.
Hey, if you're a therapist, I want to help you deepen your client work, help them get better results without burning yourself out. You can do all this by learning to harness the power of IFS. So I want to tell you, we've got a free IFS resource library that you can download now. This is full of resources like my quick start guide to IFS, the full IFS protocol, a bunch of demos of me doing IFS with real people, and extra self-care practices for therapists. You can get all this for free in the link in the description, and I hope you enjoy.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you for doing this again. I'm really grateful to have multiple sessions with you to kind of see where this goes and also to show people what a realistic kind of journey it can be and what a winding road it can be to do this work and use this model, not knowing where it'll take us necessarily. So, we've covered lots of ground in our previous sessions, and for folks just tuning in, you can always check those out if you want, or you can just jump in by watching this session that we're about to do here. So, yeah, let me know if there's anything coming up for you that you want to start with here today, whether that is connected to our previous sessions or the parts we've connected with so far, or a new direction, or you're not sure.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think I would say I was just kind of rewatching our last session, and I guess I had forgotten about a lot of the things, so I obviously didn't go back so much. And yet, some of these parts, I guess, have popped up again.
Mhm.
Definitely this kind of the maybe there's actually a part that's connected to this part of wanting to meet other people's needs, and
Mhm.
it's something to do with um, with actually a part of me that's uncertain, that's been made to feel quite doubtful of herself
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
everybody kind of thought, my ideas were so weird and they couldn't possibly work. They're different. And so I realized, now where what I'm seeing is that I'm like wanting to shift my business in a different direction. And when I think about making it happen, there's that fear that comes up. And the fear is the fear of almost like people like saying, see, it didn't work if it fails. Yes, it's like, see, because your ideas couldn't possibly work. So, so there's this part there definitely that's quite active and connected, I guess, to some
Mm.
of the things that we've talked about before.
Mhm. Yeah, great job just connecting it to what we've covered before and touched into. And yeah, sometimes parts are kind of involved in multiple domains of our life, or they show up in multiple domains, especially when it has to do with our relationships and uh, fears. So you mentioned you're aware of this part that kind of says, see, it didn't work, right? If you were to try this thing in your business, it doesn't work. And then a part would go, see, it didn't work. Or others would say, see, it didn't work. We knew it wouldn't work. You don't have good ideas.
Yeah. What happens is when I
Yeah.
go up to people, I think this kind of so my enthusiasm always carries through, and people are really open to and they're really excited and inspired by my ideas. But then when I tried to say, oh, well, maybe we could collaborate, or, do you know anyone who would be interested in this? So I think then that part of me that's doubting myself, my ability to make it happen, because I've so long people have been telling me, nah, you can't possibly do something like this. This part kind of comes through in somewhere in my energy, and it turns people off. Then so nothing gets off the ground because I have to fight this, yes, all the time. Does that make
Mm,
sense?
it does. Yeah, it does. So, yeah, and as you focus on that part a little bit, how do you notice it in or around your body? What does it look like, sound like?
In my throat straight away. It's like a tightening.
Yeah. Yeah, and would it be okay to focus a little more on that tightening?
Yeah, there's the sadness as well.
Mm. Is that the same part or a different one?
Yeah, what I'm getting is it's like, why can't people believe in me? Why can't they just like back me up? That's, I guess, the sadness and. Mm.
Mm.
And a reluctance to speak because people are going to shoot it down. They're going to just tell me all the different ways in which
Mhm.
it's not going to work.
Got it.
Goes back to this idea from before that, and if they don't back me up, if they don't do it with me, I
Mhm.
can't do it. I can't do it on my own. There's a belief there that I can't do it on my own. It's not
I
possible.
see. Okay. And to what degree do you agree with that? That I can't do it on my own.
I think it's quite a blended part actually. There's a lot of
Mhm.
there's definitely a part of me that believes that I can do it on my own.
Mhm.
I can find a way because I've done lots of things that people told me probably wouldn't work and I've made them
Mm.
work.
Mhm.
But there's also this part that really doesn't want to do things alone, that just
Mm.
says it's just too much, it's too heavy, it's no fun, it's
Okay.
boring.
Mhm. Yeah, and how do you notice being blended with this part?
I guess because you said, like, is there, to how much do you agree with this?
Mhm.
And whilst, yeah, the self believes that it's possible to do it on my own, it's just a tiny, tiny amount that believes that it's possible and it's in the background and it's there. But
Mm.
I feel like most of my thoughts and my actions and everything are going to just go in the direction of I need other people.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't do it alone.
Mm,
Or I can't do it if other people don't believe in me.
yeah.
How true does that feel when I say it back to you?
Feels true. That's the thing. It feels mostly true, really.
Mhm.
There's a real belief that people won't follow me, like
Yeah.
this part that really says people won't follow you. So if you start something new and you need obviously like people to take part in this, they won't show up.
Okay.
There'll be no one there. You're never going to find the people who want to do the thing that you want to do.
Mhm.
It's because everybody else thinks differently to you. That's what is there.
And can you keep going with that? Keep peeling back the layers of those fears, or ask this part, and then what would that mean if this happened?
Back to that kind of loneliness, really. There's the
Hmm.
I put all that effort into something that I really believed in,
Okay.
but because I couldn't get people to follow me, then I'm on my own and I've done all this for nothing.
Hmm.
Now I feel
Okay.
really alone because I feel like the one that's different, like the odd one out, one that likes things that other people don't like or is interested in things that
Mm-hmm.
other people are not interested in. Mm.
So it sounds like this part is actually trying to help you avoid ending up alone
Mhm.
by not putting yourself out there more, or trying this thing in your business that may or may not work. Because not having people follow me means I may end up alone, according to this part. Is that right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And I may end up being proven like that, yeah, that I can't do the thing that I think is a great thing.
Mm.
And that would probably hurt. And it would be, it's like, well, if I can't do the thing that I'm here to do, then what am I supposed to do? Life is then like really meaningless for me.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I am alone. Yeah. So it's not a very nice picture, really.
Can you share that with the part,
Mm.
that you trying things like this new thing in your business is an important part of you keeping connected to your life purpose and actually being less alone?
There's not really a response like verbally, but
Mm-hmm.
there's different sensations in my body that are coming up, really.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of in the solar plexus and stomach. It's just
Mm-hmm.
different.
What kind of sensations?
It's really strong around the throat now, but it's a very different feeling to what it was before. It's almost like somebody strangling me. So before it felt internal tightening, whereas now it feels like there's a thing around my neck, literally, and it's just like squeezing.
Okay. So you might just directly ask the part to soften the squeeze a bit if it's willing. You can ask the part to turn down the intensity a bit. Or if you can, just let the part know you get how important this is and
It's
how
gone to the
essential it
gut
is.
now.
Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
It's gone
Yeah,
to the gut now, like really, like
yeah.
quite like. Well,
Okay.
Lower, yeah.
How are you feeling toward it?
I'm kind of intrigued. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it wants me to understand something or to know something.
Okay. So maybe just letting it know in whatever way makes sense to you, whether it's verbally or even with your hand there on the belly or the throat, letting it know I'm listening. Like I'm all ears. You've got my attention. Because I get that this is feeling really high stakes for this part, and I want to respect that and try to go really slow here if we can. I want to take a moment to chat about our sponsor, Jane, a clinic management software and EMR. Your evenings and weekends should be spent with loved ones, not chasing down your patients and clients for payment. That's why Jane has designed a secure payment solution that helps reduce the amount of time you spend manually following up with patients. Patients can save their credit card details and insurance information securely through your intake form, which can then be conveniently processed after your time together. And if they've got an outstanding balance, you can send a payment request, email, or SMS that allows your patients to pay off their balance online from the comfort of their homes. To see how Jane can help you reclaim your after work hours, head to the link in the description or show notes to book a personalized demo. Or if you're ready to get started, you can use the code JOHN at the time of sign up for a 1-month grace period applied to your new account. All right, let's dive in.
I would say what's coming is that it's kind of showing me what it feels like
Mm-hmm.
when people don't like go along with my ideas, or when I end up feeling kind of rejected or alone because I'm different, like
Mm-hmm.
that sense of like not finding the people that kind of, yeah, resonate with me. And
Mm.
that's the feeling. So the sensations are just what that feels like. It says it wants me to know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, are you open to knowing more about this, to hearing more?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so just let it know. Really try to take a posture of just listening and inviting the story of this part. Maybe even asking about the first time it happened or the worst time it happened.
I don't really know how it's related, but what's
Mm-hmm.
popped up is like this time when a friend was around, and I was probably like in primary school or something, and I was playing with this friend in the garden, and my dad was kind of gardening nearby, and I guess my sister was around, and my sister and I started sort of bickering, and my dad just got annoyed and just like took our heads and just banged them together. And I don't know why this is popping up now, but it's kind of but I did feel really like this is really like in front of our friend, what's our friend going to think about this? It's just looks like
Mm,
it's,
okay.
you know, yeah.
So just try to slow it down a bit if you can and check in and see how connected you are with this part that's telling you this story. And how connected is this part to you in this moment?
I don't know. Can you ask that maybe in a different way? It's just like not landing the question.
Yeah. So we're just checking your connection to the part. Like, do I feel a little bit connected to it, medium connected, or very connected? Am I looking at the part? Am I just feeling it in my body? Is this part aware of me? Am I making eye contact with this part?
I don't know really. I mean, I just
Hmm.
this part's definitely feeling lots of different things, but I don't really
Hmm.
know how connected or not connected I am to it.
Hmm. Okay. So another option is if you're feeling open to it, you could just invite the part to connect more with you as it's telling you this story. Whether that's connecting with you more through your body or some other way, images, words.
There's a real sense of shame from that part in that moment, like in that
Mm-hmm.
situation, like
Mm-hmm.
and a real sense of we're really different. Like our family's not like other families, and
Yeah. Yeah. How
I'll
true
never
is
fit
that?
in.
Our family is different from other families.
Hmm. Um,
Because if that's pretty true, I would just want you to validate that for this part and in
yeah, I
this
think it
moment.
is.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think to be honest, I mean, I hope for for my friends that they weren't experiencing the same thing. But yeah, I think, and there's a real sense of kind of multifaceted because it's like we're this family that looks one way on the outside but is different on
Mm.
the inside, and if people see what goes on in the inside, they'll really think we're just there's something wrong with us. Yeah,
Wow.
and
So
yeah,
this moment of the way your dad banged you and your sister's heads together was like a way of letting the cracks of the family show a bit.
yeah, I guess, yeah,
And
it
this,
just felt like
mm-hmm.
it's hard enough to be friends with people because I feel different to them, but like this is like showing it on the big screen or something that we're
Yeah,
different.
yeah, totally.
Mm.
This makes a lot of sense to me. Does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Just let the part know as best you can that it makes sense to you. this little girl trying to really make a friend here. And yet some of the ways in which our family is different are really being shown right now on full display. And dad doing something that's not so normal, like banging two little girls' heads together.
I think there's a sense of hopelessness, like of just there's no hope for you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
You're weird. Your family's weird. Like
Okay.
you're never gonna. People are never gonna understand you. People can't understand what you're living, and they can't understand why you think differently to them, and
Mm,
they're never gonna get you. That's what. Yeah.
okay. Can you ask this part how old it is?
I don't know. Maybe 9.
Mm-hmm. Does the part say 9, or are you just kind of
I don't
guessing?
know. I don't know. It's just like I feel like even before that sense was there, just which is different, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody understands.
Okay. So try to just go back to this question. I know it's a tricky one of how connected are you to this part? Or when you say, I think this part is about 9, are you seeing it? Are you feeling it? Are you seeing you at that age in this memory in the garden?
Feels like a really big part of me. It feels like it takes up a lot of space inside me. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, this part that carries hopelessness. Mm-hmm.
Like it says just don't get your hopes up. It's trying to protect,
Okay.
really.
Okay. Yeah. Can you just let it know that you get that? If you get that, this part really doesn't want you to be devastated. And you said this part takes up a lot of you. So I wonder if you could imagine that even though this part takes up a lot of you right now, that you are in fact even just slightly bigger than this part, or that you could take up a little more space than this part. And
Mm, it's interesting. It says if
mhm.
I keep you believing that you're different, and then it's like I'm giving you an excuse. So if you fail to do what you want to do, if you fail to connect with people, if you fail to get people to understand you, then
Mhm.
because you're like, if I tell you you're different, then you won't feel so bad.
Okay, does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
kind of like taking, it's almost like it takes over all of me to stop me from, yeah, from getting my hopes up, but also from like, it also gives me this out effectively. Hey, if you fail, don't worry. It's because you're not like other people.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't like you, if they don't like your ideas, if your ideas don't work out,
Yeah.
this is like the wild card. You can just pull out the, well, you're different card, and then that's okay. So I'm gonna keep that card, like, like taking over all of you, so that
Mm-hmm.
it's there all the time.
Mm. Yeah. Does that all make sense to you?
It does.
Mm-hmm.
And also, of course, it's one of those, isn't it? If I keep that as my belief, then it makes succeeding much, much harder, doesn't
Yeah,
it? Like,
it does.
yeah,
Well, something that you might work on with this part today and ongoing is this part's ability to trust that you can handle whatever happens next, or handle the highs and lows of your business, the highs and lows of putting yourself out there and trying something that may or may not work. And that you, the adult you that you are today, in this part may need some updating around that, can actually handle some disappointment, some defeat, some sense of being othered, even some sense of embracing your differences and how you're different. How does that land with the adult you of today?
yeah. I think, yeah, the adult me definitely kind of likes this idea, and I want to like show this part. I suppose like all of the things that I've done in the last sort of few years and things, and the people that I've met, and how
Great.
I have connected with people who get me, who are like me, who
Mm-hmm.
enjoy being friends with me, and
Mm-hmm.
also people that I've collaborated with,
Mm-hmm.
who really recognize the value that I bring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do some of that updating now and just really gently and lovingly showing this part those updates of what you've done and who you've met. Really take your time to walk this part through those updates and notice how the part reacts.
Which is quite excited, really. It's kind of, I'm telling her that imagine what we could do if instead of using being different as a shield, we used it
Mm.
as a door opener, like like opening doors to bring in the people who are the same, who are
Mm.
maybe think in a different way, who view life in a different way.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, great. See if you can just keep going with that.
Yeah. And even in the last week, there's been lots of things like that have happened where I've met people who were just had common interests or
Mm.
like that. So it's
Is there one
possible.
particular
Yeah.
interaction from this past week that you could show this part? This part could
Yeah. I
almost
had the
be a fly
most
in the wall. Mm-hmm.
incredible experience on Saturday. I took my Airbnb guest, who's an Indian doctor, to um, the Cotswolds and a place nearby and stuff. And we even got to see a sun halo together. I didn't even know they existed. And
Mm.
it was such a beautiful experience because we were so connected and we both had the same energy and lots of different points of connections.
Mm-hmm.
It was just felt like a really, really good day, really powerful day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how's the part reacting to that?
Felt like it
Uh-huh.
kind of let air out and just sort of a bit of a softening or
Yeah, great.
yeah, I think the
Mm-hmm.
visual I'm getting is instead of it being like, standing on guard, it's kind of more like, kind of relaxed.
Mm. Yeah, maybe just thank the part and let it know that you see that it's more relaxed now. We got just a few minutes left. Maybe just asking the part what else it needs from you in this moment, whether that's just being with or more updating or hearing its story. Does this part want to shift anything in its role or its position in your system?
It says it wants to make space for other parts. It doesn't want to take up so much space.
Okay.
It wants to be smaller.
Okay. Yeah, I would go ahead and invite that. Invite that part to be smaller and open up a little more space to share and notice how that registers in your body.
Some celebration, I think, of other parts, just like little dances there.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Can you ask this part whether it's stuck somewhere in a moment in time, like back there in the garden or anywhere in between?
Yeah, it says it trusts me.
Oh, nice.
I just keep getting this picture of it wanting to walk side by side with me, like holding hands.
Mm, beautiful.
like it wants to be with me when I go and do those things that I want to do, talk to people, but it doesn't
Okay.
want to take over. It just wants to be with me.
Yeah. How does that sound to you?
Mm. Yeah, it wants to be with me to remind me to be authentic, not to just be something different
Got it.
to what I am,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not to hide, because that's my
Mm-hmm.
thing. Because it doesn't want me to, yeah, to try and be different to what I'm supposed to be.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a really good partnership,
Mm.
collaboration. So just notice what that's like to imagine walking hand in hand with this part, and this part being in more of like a collaborative role inside your system.
Yeah, it feels good. It feels like a supportive
Mm-hmm.
part now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm telling it as well that I like us to just have this kind of thing where, hey, we can just go and try lots of different things and just know in advance that sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't work, but it doesn't really matter because it's like
Mm.
a game of numbers sometimes, where it's like when you're selling, it's like you, you can, for every 10 people that you maybe try to sell to, maybe you'll get one that
Mm.
buys, but you get one. So
Mm-hmm.
it's, yeah, it doesn't have to matter. It can just be more of a let's see what happens this time sort of
Yeah.
thing. Let's
Yeah.
see what works and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm,
Yeah,
feels
lovely.
good.
Hmm. Yeah, beautiful. So see how all that registers in your body as we get ready to wrap up here. And as you do that, also just kind of asking the part if there's anything else it needs for now or something it would like from you as a follow-up. Any parts have concerns about this one shifting into this new role and walking with you?
Really feel it in my heart. It really feels like something quite strong around the heart, and I think it's just like wanting to really be by my side every time I talk to someone about an idea or offer something or suggest something or whatever. It just wants to be there, to be like
Mm-hmm.
me holding its hand, really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
what it's asking, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, wonderful. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice work. Anything you want to say or debrief here before we stop the recording?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Thank you again for doing this.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Going Inside. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe wherever you're listening or watching, and share your favorite episode with a friend. You can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at John Clarke Therapy, and apply to work with me one-on-one at johnclarketherapy.com. See you next time.